Welcome to the Free From Porn podcast, where freedom is your new normal. My name is Richard Young, and today we're going to be talking about not taking every thought personally. I'm not here with my co-host Justin Koo. He is on vacation, and so it's just going to be me today. But what I have found is that so often what messes Christians up is the thought game. Because they hear, oh, I am free from sin, they can't believe it because they're like, well, what about my thoughts? And they take every thought personally. Jesus has this thing that he says in the Sermon on the Mount where he says, I'm telling you, it's not good enough to just not sleep with another man's wife, but to even lust after her in your own heart. And so lusting after her in your own heart, Jesus is like, that's just as bad. And so then we take that, and anytime a thought pops into our head, we start freaking out because we determine that every single thought is us going in and lusting from our heart. Like that's what we want. And I have seen so much freedom when people start to separate just random thoughts that pop up in their head from who they really are. And I want to focus on this for a second. And that's this idea that you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're not your brain. Think about it this way. You have a heart, but you're not your heart, correct? I think we could say, I am not my heart. My heart pumps blood. I am also not my blood. You have kidneys. You are not your kidneys. Your kidneys, they produce urine. You are not your urine. You're not your brain either. Your brain produces thoughts, and you are not your thoughts. Well, if you're not your brain, you're not your heart, you're not your kidneys, you're not your leg, you're not your arm, well, then what are you? And this is what I want to offer. You are the observer. The real you is the one who is viewing your thoughts. Well, how can you say that? Well, because you have thoughts that contradict each other all the time. Have you ever been going to the supermarket and you're like, I need bananas. No, I have bananas. Maybe I need bananas. Maybe I need blueberries. No, I have blue. If you were really all of those thoughts going on in your brain, well, you would be kind of schizophrenic. You'd just be arguing with yourself. If you don't understand that you're not the voice in your head, then you'll believe you're the voice in your head, and every voice that's in your head, it has a chance to break you, rather than for you to understand that you're the observer of the thoughts in your head. You're the observer of the voice in your head. So the voice is going to produce, your brain is going to produce all of these thoughts. The voice is always going to be there. You can't shut the voice up. It's always going to be there. But you can realize, I am not the voice. I am not those thoughts. I am actually the one that's observing those thoughts. So let's say you're walking in freedom. You believe that Christ has made you new. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. But then a thought that you used to have pops in there. Well, if you take every single thought personally, you're like, well, I thought I was new, but there's that thought. And what I want to offer is, just because that thought came in there, it doesn't mean that that's you. It just means that that's the thought that's there. And I used to do this exercise with somebody. I would say, okay, I want you to consider a red pool and a purple ball in the middle of that red pool. Are you holding it in your mind? Are you holding the idea of the purple ball and the red pool in your mind? And they would say, yes. And I say, well, whose thought is it? And the truth is, it's actually my thought that I gave to them. And yet it's in their mind. They're considering it. They're holding on to it. But it didn't originate with them. It originated with me, and I told them to hold that thought in their mind. In the same way, our mind is producing thoughts, and it produces thoughts because of inputs that we give it. So, for example, if I drink a bunch of Sprite, my kidneys are going to, they're going to use that Sprite to create urine. If I put a bunch of crazy thoughts in my head is going to produce those thoughts and say, here, and give them back to me. And that is why by beholding, we become changed. That's why it's very important what you put in your mind. But let's say you spent years in a pornography habit, and you flooded your mind with those thoughts, and now you realize, oh, Jesus has freed me from that, and I get to take each thought captive. I get to be transformed by the renewing of my mind, and an old thought that you used to have because you inputted all this stuff in there pops up. Are you supposed to believe, oh, that must be me now, just because an old thought popped up? I would say, be the observer of that thought and change your focus. And that's the one thing that you can control. Just in the same way you can't control what comes into your mind. Like when I said red ball, purple pool, or I don't know what it was, purple pool, red ball, and that was in your mind, you couldn't control that coming in there, but you could determine if you were going to focus on it or not. You can't control all the thoughts that pop up in your head, but you can control whether or not you focus on them. And that's the beauty of the gospel. We now see that we can determine what we focus on. And Paul in Philippians tells us to focus on whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, whatever is worthy of praise. Think about these things. He lists off a bunch of things. Hey, he's like, think about these things. Before he says that, he says, if you're worried, give it up to God, and the peace of God will guard your heart and give you the peace. And then he says, think about these things. And so it's not that a thought that jumps into your head you have to take completely personally. It's that you get to change the focus and think on the things that are good. And in our coaching program, how we walk guys through this is, thoughts are going to come up there and they're going to be in there, but you can change what you focus on. You can process the urge through truth. You can sit there in the discomfort knowing, well, that thought just popped in there and I'm feeling this urge, but the truth is that I don't have to act on this urge, that I can feel uncomfortable, that I can focus on this, focus on that, focus on what I actually want, focus on the feeling in my body being uncomfortable, and I actually get to walk out righteousness as it is in Jesus Christ. That is something that you get to do because you have been given the mind of Christ. And so, since you have the mind of Christ, have this same mind in you. Paul says in Philippians 2, think like he did. You can put others first. You can live righteously, live the way you want to live. And don't let your mind just pops in there that to shake you, to discourage you, to keep you from what is already true about you in Jesus Christ. If the battle for our soul, let's say the soul is the castle at the top of the hill, the battle of that soul, the battlefield is our mind. That's where it's being fought. And God has given you everything you need to battle and win because you have control on what you focus on. We talk about this so much in our coaching program. It's pretty much what we do. We're teaching people how to think about things differently, how to change their minds in light of the truth as it is in Jesus Christ. And man, we'd love you to be a part of that. We're seeing just beautiful growth and transformation every single day as we're taking these thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ and growing in our righteousness. So take me up on this offer. DM me. Let's talk about what it would look like for you to be in our coaching program, for you to see that growth. And if you want to nip this problem in the bud, this emotional dysregulation because of thoughts, man, I would start today. I would want to get in it today. So hit me or Justin or the podcast page up in the DMs, and let's talk about what it would look like to be a part of our coaching program. Next week, we'll be back with Justin. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day.